think the first thing I always want to maybe tweak for everyone is like their mindset on being persistent or just making sure that you're staying top of mind. I don't think that always equates to sleazy salesperson or like the annoying person who can't get out of my inbox. There's a way to still stay top of mind while not just saying, any thoughts? You still there? What about now? Is it a better time? So I'm all about like driving value and I full-heartedly believe in myself and what I'm building to say that me following up with someone in a week or 3 weeks or whatever that time period looks like, it's me caring about my business and caring about the end person and knowing I have value to bring them.
Welcome to the Creator Money Show, where I teach creators how to build profitable businesses and lasting wealth. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm so excited for my podcast episode today with Paige Haynes. Paige, welcome to the show.
Hi everyone, so happy to be here.
Paige and I actually met at a conference just last fall. It was actually the conference that I went to decide if I wanted to start my own business. And Paige actually witnessed me deciding like, yep, I'm jumping all in. I'm doing this. I'm going forward. Do you remember that, Paige?
And it was from 24 hours we met, talked, you were there to kind of figure out am I taking the jump or not. And the next day you stood up in front of everyone and you officially made the launch. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen and honestly pretty inspirational for me to make my jump. I guess maybe 2-3 months later?
Yes. No, it was so fun. That whole conference was so great and so amazing. Paige and I, as she just mentioned, decided to start her business 2 months ago. And so meeting at that conference, we just really hit it off. And as we've been building our businesses, we've decided, hey, we need to stay in contact. We need to keep updated with each other and what's going on. As you all know, as creators, it's hard starting a business. It can be really lonely and really stressful. And so Paige and I have been like that confidant for each other, that cheerleader, but also the person that we're calling when we're like, we're so frustrated and so mad. Like, can I just vent to someone for a minute? So I was so excited to have Paige on today though, because she has been in sales for over a decade. Her whole career has really been focused on sales. And I reached out to Paige probably a week or two ago, just saying, Paige, like I need some sales help. I need some training. And the more she talked, the more I thought, my listeners need to hear what Paige is saying. Like, this is so crucial. As creators, you're constantly selling yourself. You're constantly telling brands like, hire me, and trying to stand out from the crowd. Also negotiating, contracts. If you have a brand that you want to turn into a repeating recurring revenue, how do you set yourself up for that? How do you go about it? And so I just thought it'd be so fun to have Paige on today to really talk through those tactics of sales. So with that, Paige, how would you help us okay, we're a creator, we're ready to start, pitching, maybe even leveling up the business to the next level, right? You've gotten a couple gigs, you've gotten a couple deals that have worked out. How do we get in the right mindset? Like, where do you kind of tell people to start with sales?
Yeah, it depends on the person, of course, and where they're at in their business and their journey. But I think making sure the foundation and your strategy is there is really important. So really, who's your audience? I think making sure you have a really clear picture on that. What does that look like, right? Is it a type of demographic? Is it based on location? The way more you can get specific on that and really niche down into who they are, what they do, where they spend their time, I think is pretty critical in order to make sure that everything you do after that speaks and backs that message.
I'd gotten some advice from someone recently to, follow up, multiple times, 10 times in a row, back to back to back. And I always thought like, that seems shady. That seems salesy and maybe even sleazy. But the guy that was telling me to do it was like telling me to do it in a way that was helpful and providing value to that person and being, encouraging or just even sending them a helpful tip here or there. So is that a strategy like you've used? Like, what do you think about this idea of, let's even say it's a brand. A creator wants to reach out to a brand, is literally emailing that brand 10 times in a row. Is that too many? What do you think about that?
There's so many ways to go about that. I think the first thing I always want to maybe tweak first for everyone is like their mindset on being persistent or just making sure that you're staying top of mind. I don't think that always equates to sleazy salesperson or like the annoying person who can't get out of my inbox. there's a way to manage it as far as like how often you reach out, what you're saying, different types of ways to reach out. You can reach out on LinkedIn. We talked about texting the person. Do you do something creative? Like there's a way to still stay top of mind while not just saying, any thoughts? You still there? What about now? Is it a better time? Like that to me isn't like value generating tap back in. It's more of you just being around. So I'm all about like driving value, and I full-heartedly believe in myself and what I'm building to say that me following up with someone in a week or 3 weeks or whatever that time period looks like, it's me caring about my business and caring about the end person and knowing I have value to bring them. So yeah, I think change the mindset around that, and then you also need to feel really good in queen.
Can we
And here's a
pause right there?
variety.
Actually, I'm going to interrupt you because I love where you're going, but I want to pause for a minute on the mindset, right?
Okay.
Because I think that's really important. I think oftentimes I've had the mindset where I'm going to be annoying to that person. They're going to get so annoyed that I reach out or bugged, right? But I love what you said of like when you know that you're going to provide value to this person, when you believe in your business and you believe in the change you can help that brand make to like literally sell more product, or you really love the brand and the product that they sell and you want to promote it for them, when you really come to it with that set of like, I believe in this and I'm excited to help you and I feel like I can really add value to it, I think that mindset is, it's definitely like worth going through the struggle of getting over the hump of like, I'm going to be annoying to, I believe in this and you want me to be bugging you because I can add so much value to you. Like, do you like that framing? How would you tweak that? Like, and what have you done to kind of help you get in that mindset? Because I think that's hard, really hard to do.
I wouldn't tweak that at all. I think
Okay.
you recapped that perfectly. But I don't know. It's definitely taken like great peers around me and like mentors along the way to like give me that extra confidence. I know everyone has imposter syndrome to be like, well, there's so many options out there. Am I really good at this? Am I not? No, I don't. I'm not that that doesn't come up, but you really got to just wake up and like believe, and you know your work ethic, and you know the education you've done for yourself to make sure you're at this level. And of course, we always need to learn more skills and so on, but there's experts out there that can help us for that. So really, it's start believing in yourself first. If you have to manifest, if you have to talk to a friend, I know we have our monthly calls to pump ourselves up and just to
Yep.
call up
Yep.
things, whatever that takes, start there. And then I think once you have that mindset, it really flows into your messaging. It flows
Okay.
into if you call someone, not to be like, I'm so sorry I'm calling you right now. It's no, it's I'm very happy we connected. It might not have been a scheduled call, but I couldn't wait to tell you about this. Or
Right.
I thought of you, this popped up in my life and immediately had to pass this along. Like it
Yeah,
just changes your tone, it changes how you open up conversations, and I think people feel that.
totally.
Important.
Okay. Thank you for letting me interrupt you because I think that's so important of coming at it from this angle of like, I was thinking about you and I really thought this thing would provide value for you. Like, so let's go down deeper, like you were starting to go into different ways you can reach out but still add value. So I think that's one way. You're reading an article and something that you've come across you found was like really interesting or could be helpful for the brand to see, or even the agency, or even just another friend, right? And reaching out and like sending it to them. Hey, I was thinking about you. I thought this would provide value. One thing I've learned with that though is don't just send them this article, 5-page article. Maybe even be like, this was the one thing I got out of the article that I thought would be valuable for you. I think that like takes it up another notch, which I always tell myself I'm ready to just like send the article. Abby, tell them why you sent the article.
Well, you're taking that one step, but I think it's I'm actually reading oh my gosh, I just started reading it in this book club. It's Hospitality. What book is that?
Yes, Unreasonable Hospitality.
Unreasonable Hospitality. Oh, it's
Amazing. Such a great book. Everyone should read it.
yeah, but it's all about like what's that like next level and that next iteration. So it's not just I'm going to do the motion of saying I thought of you because right now I'm on the third step of my follow-up outreach campaign and I want to get them on a meeting. No, it's let me actually think about this human that I met with, that I interacted with, and taking that one step further to not just give them another to-do list item, right? But like you're adding value in some way. It was an inspirational quote. It was this part from an article, and I think you could apply this to your business. I think that makes that extra step where like you're just turning down the noise that they're getting from all of their notifications on their phone from their friends, family, business you have to keep up with. You really have to cut down on that.
Yeah, we for sure are. Okay, so instead of like, what are other things you could do? Maybe if you have this 6 week or 10 week outreach, right? You found an article or a quote, you're sending it to them. What other ideas have you had in the past to keep reaching out?
Well, I've done some crazy, unique, interesting things. I'm trying
Yeah,
to think
let's
of
hear
like
it.
some ones. I mean, I'm a big person of like be around the community and like the network and in the rooms that you want to be in. So I've even found out like what are similarities, right? So is it you volunteer at a certain place? Is there like local coffee shops or just groups like where is my audience and where can I then be, so it's just a more natural interaction. Now that might be for like gaining new prospects in general, but like I think that's wildly important. One time I was like digging trees at a volunteer event. I'm like, this is pretty crazy that I'm doing this, but I got to meet 5 executives that I knew I probably they never would have reached out to me or responded to my emails before.
Yeah.
So I guess it's more of like prospecting and just being around people that are important to your growth and individuals that you know you can help.
Let me add to that because I've actually found a ton of value recently starting a business. A lot of what you do is networking, like you said, being in the right rooms, being around the right people, and I have been so impressed. I got introduced to this one guy. I'm going to call him out, Jesse Clark from E-Minute.
Yes.
He's part of a business that basically sets up like LLCs for any business, really, and they do have an arm that focuses on creators. But anyways, I got introduced to him, and then he instantly, after a 30-minute call, didn't even tell me on the call he was doing this, sent me 2 other people that I should go connect with, and then just today sent me another email. So now it's been about a month, almost 2 months since I've talked to him, sent me another person that I can connect with. Do you know how much I love Jesse Clark? Like, it is
Love Jesse.
amazing. I literally was like, how nice. I literally am just starting my business. I need to meet people. I need to network. He knows the people I want to meet, and he's helping make that connection for me because he knows the industry better. He's been around it a lot longer than me. And it was just like such a quick little thing that he did, which is, hey, Abby, hey, so and so, I think you two should connect. You're both involved in the creator economy. I'll let you two take it from here. Like that took him 10 seconds, but it meant the
Mhm.
world to me. So I think that's like another idea you could have in your tool belt of like connecting even creators who have a specific niche that might really resonate with the brand that you're in with. Like, how cool would that be if you could connect more creators with brand? Like, there's just so many neat ways that you could just help connect people if you just every day took 10 minutes to think about who can I connect today that I know in my like sphere of influence.
I love the connection point because I think we always want to be on the side of it where we're like, wow, we just got this many referrals or this many introductions. But I just noticed if you start doing it yourself, it comes back or it doesn't. But I think that's a really key piece is if you're thinking about how you can help other people, if you're in these interactions, be like, who can I introduce you to? How can I help you? Versus just thinking about, can I get their business? Your
Yeah,
mindset changes. I think that kind of helps with like your confidence around it. And once
totally.
you get into that position of being a connector, people want to do that back for you too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. Okay, what was your other example you were getting ready to bring up?
yeah, so another idea is social proofing. What that term really means is just where have you done this before? Who has bought your services? And like, why would I spend the time to trust you? I think trust is so big when you're trying to get more brand deals and also when you're trying to get more people to trust in the value of what you're saying.
Yeah.
So a part of that, there's so many ways that you can do social proofing, but also there's folks where you're like, I just got started. I don't have this laundry list of testimonials or people who are going to speak in my behalf. There's still ways that you can figure out how to build trust and how to get people to make sure that they are kind of considering you, just even an
Yeah,
interview, trialing you out and your working style. Like there's still
totally.
ways. But what you mentioned earlier, send work that you've done. If someone just wrapped up a project with you and there was a text or if there was an email, you can obviously black out the names and everything and just, hey, had to send this over to you. One of the clients I was just working with said this about me. Gonna brag on myself for a little bit. I don't know. To me, it's just however you can be like so human is very key at the end
Yeah.
of the day. No one really wants like the templates of hello, reaching back out. So excited to connect with you. Here's some, like, how would you talk to me is how I'm pretty sure most people want to be talked to,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
with AI. There's just so much slop around these days. So, like, how can you break through that, be clear, and just be kind and just be yourself? So, yeah, showing
I
videos
love
is a
that.
really good way. Any testimonial, and it doesn't have to be in a crazy one pager, it could be a screenshot.
No, I like that. I like that idea of, kind of combining this folder, this social proof for multiple different reasons. I think number one, when you're having a bad day and you're having a hard time, like being that cheerleader for yourself and feeling like you can do this, like go into that folder and read all these good things people have said about you, but also to send it to brands.
It really
Totally.
isn't.
What about like sending something physical? I'm thinking like a thank you card or maybe flowers is a bit odd, like maybe a book. I don't know. At what point would you actually send something in the mail to someone? Is that weird?
None of these are weird. These are all just ways you can stand out. Again, you have to also think about like cost per customer and acquisition and
Yeah.
so that's you have to decide for your business of how much you want to spend, but a handwritten letter, absolutely. No one's sending those. If you don't know their exact address, a site that I've used, and there might be more ones out there, but it's like thanks.com. You can send things to people, right, that are and you don't need to have their address, but it can still say, like,
Cool.
"I'm not just sending you, like, an Amazon gift card," and you could. And these don't always have to be, like, I'm spending $100 on someone, it could be $5 for coffee. Just little things
Yes.
if you know they're experiencing something in life, it could be a personal reason or if they're in a phase of their business. Handwritten cards, the virtual cards, you could send them a book, virtual books, there's just so many ways if you can think about, "Alright, what does this person actually want and what's gonna stand out?" And you can do it in a really cost-effective way.
So would you recommend like I'm just thinking, okay, we have all these ideas of how we're going to reach out to help stay top of mind for people. Like, how do you though keep this organized? How do you know that it's really moving the needle? Because I could imagine I'm gonna reach out to this person, then I'm gonna reach out to that person. It's just kind of like, I don't know, I'm like doing little things here and there. Like, would you recommend to put maybe a more set process or like strategy behind it? And if so, like, what is that?
Yeah, and this all dep like, there's a lot of I'm glad you brought that up. You definitely need to have, like, different segments
Ooh, I
of
like
how you're
that.
gonna do this.
Yeah.
So you could also do that with new prospects, folks you already have spoke to, and then I always liked creating some sort of list because you need some sort of, like, hierarchy or prioritization kind
Yeah.
of, order. It can't just be like, "I'm giving the same level of service to everyone." You might not have the money, you might not have the time,
The
bandwidth, all
energy.
the things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You still have to do your job, all the things. So, I don't know, you can almost create like a 20-10-5 list. That's what I used to do, where it's like,
Okay.
hey, here's the 20 top priority folks that I need to get in front of. Beyond that, I have another list of 10 who maybe I'm going to do. Maybe it's not as personalized, but I'm going to send X level of outreach or type of personalized communication to them. And then your 5, you are going all in. You are taking
Okay.
the extra time and building that into your weeks to make sure it's hyper personalized, hyper customized, and they know that this was only meant for them based on the previous conversations you had, their business, their goals, and so on. So that could just be a way where it feels a little bit more manageable and you can swap people out through that list. And there's so many ways to go
Yeah.
about that. But the 20-10-5 concept always just made a lot of sense for me.
I like that. So let's say the 5, they're the people you're really reaching out to, really focusing on, hyper personalized, you said. So, like, how long is someone on that list of 5? Like, until the deal, like, until you get whatever. I mean, ultimately, you're wanting something, right? Like, that's why you're reaching out. But so are they
Yeah.
on that list until that happens? Or at some point, are you like, okay, this isn't working and I need to pivot or like remove them from the list to make room for someone else? Like, how do you determine that?
I think there could be some signs where they're like, it's going to be a year. And then maybe you're like, okay, I'll reach out once a quarter. And you could remove
Yeah.
them from that list because you're like, they still matter to me. Just because someone doesn't buy from you in the moment doesn't mean things can't change. So you probably may want to like move them off for that reason. There also could be people where you're like, I'm just doing a gut check and something doesn't feel right. I do actually feel like I'm annoying them. There might be
Yeah.
a certain point where I want to challenge everyone to get past that uncomfortable feeling, but like at the end of the day, your gut, and if there might be signs and breadcrumbs to be like, I need to slow this down for them. They're telling
Yeah.
me no, or they're saying, really, Abby, like, we'll get back to you. So that's maybe another reason to bring them off. I don't know. There also might be points in your business where you're like, I need to switch out who my ideal customer is. Maybe I'm completely pivoting or I'm going to trial folks for now. But
Yeah,
I think overall, like, I do like to give people breaks from me. As much as I think like I can be there, I can support in some way, there needs to be like some rest period. So maybe it is, I always look at things in a quarter. So maybe you look at things for 13 weeks. And then after that, kind of slow down. Doesn't mean you can't bring people back onto this list, but you
I
might
like
want to give
that.
them some sort of like cooling period where like, I know you're a human. I don't want to be annoying. I want to respect, but I'll be reaching back out. And you could
Yeah,
even say that. It can be that obvious. It doesn't have to be this behind the scenes secret system. I'm just very forthcoming and
I like
transparent
that.
about what I'm doing.
I like that. I like that. I someone was recently telling me just like building this networking framework or process of, and I like the numbers you put to it. I think that's even more helpful, right? Like 20-10-5. His kind of feedback was for the people on his 5 list. I reach out every week and I do something different every week, but for 10 weeks straight, it's like very consistent. And at first I was like, that's insane. But he's like, yeah, but by week 6, 7, or 8, they're like, holy crap, dude, you're literally not going away. If you're going to follow this much and you're going to add this much value, or you're going to like pursue me this much, just think what you're going to do for like my audience or my customers, or like that speaks of volumes. And I loved his framing for that, that I just thought this was so genius of, instead of being annoying, like again, thinking about the value you're providing and like your persistence and your follow up and follow through. Like who wouldn't want that in someone they're hiring for their brand, someone that they're going to connect to an agency, like whatever it is for you, like putting it in that mindset, I really thought was valuable.
I love that. That's the one I want in my camp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it matches like the work ethic and it matches everyone that you want supporting you. Question for you.
Yeah, please.
Everyone has their own approach and things are very unique to them. What do you feel like has like worked well for you? And what are areas that you would say, hey, this is something that I think everyone should replicate? Do you have that list for yourself right now or are you still creating it?
One thing I did do recently with like my networking is I like what you said too, like segmenting the list and like, okay, these are people that I've connected with and have responded back to me. This is the group of people I've reached out to, but like they have not responded. This is my list of people who I want to reach out to, but I haven't even connected with yet. Because I feel like every day when it's like, I'm trying to do 10 minutes a day of just networking, outreach in some way, right? And it's hard to go into that 10 minutes and try to make it quick and easy when you don't have a list to pull from, right? So anytime when I'm like, oh, I found this person on social media I really liked, or I connected with that person here, I try to like add them to the list. So the bottom of your list, the list where it's like, this is who I want to reach out to, should be really long. But then I think it's helpful that every time you go to it and want to just do something fast, you're not having to start at the beginning. I think that's maybe something I've done.
That is incredible advice because I think you're right. You could maybe you block out an hour a day, or maybe it's an hour a week, whatever that looks like for everyone. But if you're spending 30 minutes of that hour getting organized and you're kind of like all over the place, I'm not saying I love this part of organizing your book and your prospects and your future state clients, but it's really key. And our brains don't remember all of this.
Yeah.
You think you might and you don't. So like I think that's just a really good way to have some sort of like organization approach around how you're doing it. It could be as simple as like a spreadsheet and just start basic. You can evolve to there and there's tools that can help you go along the way. But and that's
Yeah.
really key because I think a lot of people forget about this, or like you said, all these things start happening and they do, but it was important to you enough for you to put them on a list or to become to a thought bubble in your head. Now just make sure you have some sort of way to keep it top of mind for you.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Totally. So, being a new business owner, right? Like what's maybe one of your most recent learning that you're trying to implement being a new business owner? Like what has really helped you these past couple months keep sticking with it and like moving forward, because it's hard. It's so hard.
It's hard and it's rewarding. You're feeling all these things at once. Like you said, one day I'm marketing, one time I'm IT, one time I'm doing the thing I signed up for what I what I did and creating
Yeah.
this business. I'm a huge believer in Benjamin Hardy, the Who Not How book.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
So this is the really hard thing to juggle,
You actually said that to me a couple weeks ago. Who not how, Abby? You
and
did.
and I'm sticking with it. But it's hard to juggle with do I have the funds, the times, the expertise? And I think it's making sure you're talking to the right experts who can help you get there. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to collaborate a lot more on sales. I have experience in that, but you've also helped me in a ton of ways on how to create my brand and like right how to get the structure of my business in place and make sure that my messaging and everything's aligned. That's important and it's not something I feel joy in, but other people are so good at it. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't I tap them for that versus me taking 4 or 5 months to try and piecemeal together. So it's just a really making sure I'm, like, tapping the right experts, and just helping, like, lift me up a lot quicker. Because you don't get a medal if you do it on your own. I don't think you get an extra award at the end of the day, and it's really tough.
I think everyone needs to hear that more of like, you don't get a medal for doing this by yourself. If not, it's even harder. Like, really
But you
seriously, I
think
love
that's
that.
how it needs to be, or you think, like, you get more bragging rights or people respect you more, but they're probably not gonna respect me if I my business goes like,
Yeah. If it
if I
doesn't
need
work
to sell
out.
everything or if I have to yeah. So, yeah, I think the community is, like, really something I'm leaning into. And
I
again,
love
4
that.
months in, so I'll keep you posted.
So, who not how, when you actually told me that a while ago, I was like, who in my mind always equates to, I got to pay someone to do something for me. So, help me understand that from your perspective, Paige. Like, how do you make for sure that you're not taking advantage of somebody when you're asking for their expertise, when you know that is like their expertise?
I'm still figuring that out. And a lot of it, the answer is yes, there is going to be paid services that I have to go out and find and feel really good about because those services are, they've maybe spent 15 plus years building their expertise there, and that's just what needs to happen. But I don't think we often enough ask like the people around us, and they want to help us so much. Just saying, like, do you know what I do? Here's what I like, here are some of the goals that I'm working towards. And then I've just found there's been an opportunity for us to share ideas. We're almost like bartering services or ideas, but that could even be a way of like who around you currently, like take the moment to think to explain what you do, what your goals are. That could be a way. Join networking groups. And again, almost similar to what we're doing, where I'm saying, I feel like I can help you here. You can help me here. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things just to start before doing that, but is what I'm also thinking about. If I can get things kind of elevated and it takes me less than 2 weeks where it would have personally taken me 6 months. That to me is worth paying for. Now, because 'cause I'm a new business, I can't really scale that for too many things, but I pick what I want to invest in each quarter, and that's just something that I'm gonna continue to, like, evolve over time.
So, so I like that framing. So, have you kind of done that in your business of decided, okay, there might be something I am going to go pay for this quarter and I'm investing or buying that service, whatever it may be, and then you're reevaluating that each quarter? Because that's kind of a, I hadn't thought about that. I think that's a good way to approach it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to think of everything in quarters, even though it doesn't matter as much for me and where I currently stand, or at least it doesn't feel like it used to when I was working in the Fortune 500 space. But yeah, so last quarter it was automations, right? For how I'm engaging with different individuals that don't know me and my brand. And that's key to my business and sales, right? Outreach engines are super important. So that's something I invested in. I'm going to continue to invest in this quarter. But something as simple as bookkeeping, I was doing that and I'm continuing to do that. And I'm like, this is making me pull my hair out. I don't, making me spend so much more time. So now I'm exploring, should I just get a paid service for a bookkeeper? It's little
Yeah.
things like that where I'm just trying to like look at the value of my time and what energizes me. And then that might actually be worth the investment. But I could always pull back if it doesn't make sense. If I'm kind of looking at, was this a win or was this not a win after 13 weeks?
Yeah. Well, I like that framing too you've added. Someone taught me like make the list of if I could stop doing this today and it would make me so happy, like what is that list? And yeah, maybe for a while you have to keep doing the things on that list, but whatever's at the top, maybe like every quarter you can be like, okay, can I afford now to outsource this one thing? And would it make me so happy to outsource bookkeeping or like for me, it's editing, right? Like I don't really
Yes.
like editing, right? And so I'm like, when am I going to hire someone to be my editor, right? But I think it's also kind of fun to think about that list of things. It's maybe even a little motivational of like, okay, like I need to like keep moving in my business and keep making more money so that I can get that thing that I hate like off of my plate, right?
Really, I kind of thought about pricing the other day with that, where I'm like, oh, I need to price my services so it can include this. It makes you kind of look at your operations and how you want
Yeah.
to run based on that too.
I love that. Oh my gosh. So many good takeaways. I love like the 20-10-5. I love the mindset that we really started with. That was so key and so helpful. And then also like this concept of who, not how. And it doesn't always have to relate to being paid. It can just be relate to, exchanging services for free. Well, Paige, thank you so much for being a guest on my podcast today. It was such a joy to have you. Any final words you want to leave the audience with?
No, I think everyone is just so valuable in what they do, and just practice articulating that and phone a friend, make sure you ask people around you. And I think it all stems from there. So hopefully this was helpful, and I'm glad I was able to chat with Abby and her amazing audience today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. If you're a creator trying to figure out the money side of your business, make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comments what topic you want me to cover next. Catch you on the next one.